Hello, everybody. My name is River Dogum, and this is the 57th episode of Speaking with Autism. You have been wondering, even though we're still living with our lives in 2026, there are times, especially on the spectrum of autism, whether you have that's ADHD or the spectrum of both, or you're to have dyslexia and all that stuff. It feels lonely at times, where you're having a hard time trying to create a group of friends or having a true best friend in your life, especially combatant to that. Especially for me, at 26 years old, who will be 27 in October of this year, still trying to figure out my group, my inner circle, or y'all want to call it the inner circle of your trust. But why is that? How can you identify someone, or especially yourself, and you may not notice that you just feel lonely and you don't know why? There are 5 things that researchers have said that made you can cause of this loneliness, and you're not sure why. The very first thing you may have noticed, or you probably have noticed to yourself, is the first one. You have fictional characters or someone you love have an interaction. Like, for example, you are having a conversation with Peter Parker, Spider-Man. You always have that in your head or inside your mind. You look at Spider-Man and you just see him as a best friend of yours. Now, you have to be careful with all that stuff, because that can lead to, scary situations if you're ever going to meet a famous actor, famous musician, all that stuff. Because some of these people will go way too far just to ask for an autograph or a selfie. So you got to be careful with all that stuff. The second thing is you spend most of your time on your phone. Now that's obviously another sign of that. Some parents may be asking, well, why don't you just take away their phone? It's not that easy to just take away your phone and restrict it. You have to talk to your kid to figure out what's going on. Is there anything that they can do? And yes, there are obviously a lot of things you can do to help, that parents can do to help their kids. Maybe just ask anybody that they know and ask them for a play date. Like, did you recently note that that YouTube and Meta had to pay a parent $1 million due to social media addiction, which is it's obviously this, and Facebook and Instagram. And now there's multiple ads coming out where you can call a judge or a lawyer to battle this social media addiction, which includes the likes of this, Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter, Threads, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, all that stuff. So taking away their phone is not going to be easy. You have to explain to them why being on your phone is just not a healthy addiction, because that can lead to eating disorders, dyslexia, and all that stuff, because it's like technology just corrupts in your mind instead of you just trying to be open out with the person. The third thing that's facing off with loneliness is that you just talk to yourself. Have you ever wondered that you always talk to yourself all the time, and you're just saying, like, you're just having a slight conversation with yourself? It's because you're the only person that you're just talking to, because you have nobody else. Sure, you may have your parents, because that's the safe place, or you have siblings like a brother or sister. You can have a conversation with them, but they may be busy, or you're doing stuff and you're just having a hard time figuring out who to find your true friends are, or how to be open out with the public. And I've been through that too. Sometimes I talk to myself, or I would play, skits in my head, because not only am I an actor, but sometimes I just do stuff that, I enjoy to keep myself entertained. And that's really, and is it fun? Yes. But is it hard to do it by yourself? Absolutely, because that's what's happening between the connection between you and somebody else that that you want to be friends with. That's the third thing. The fourth thing that's that you know that's helping you out, that's been leading you to feel loneliness, is that you isolate yourself away from society. You have to understand you're a person, not an island. You should know that it's hard, especially with with what's going on with this world, especially all this negativity towards autism, to say that, oh, you know, the vaccines, Tylenol, all that stuff is linked to autism. First and foremost, I'm friends with doctors and nurses, and they'll tell you that's not how it works. But when that happens, they've experienced more loneliness because of all this blah 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 spreading a word, and they just feel isolated, and like they just have nobody but themselves. And I went down that path of self isolation. I sometimes used to stay in my room just not talking to my parents or my brother because I wasn't sure what was going on. And and I finally had to get out of my shell, and I highly recommend y'all do that. Just get out of your shell, get out of your comfort zone, go do something that makes you happy. Because if you just stay idle, you're not gonna find yourself in a perfect, healthy light. It's better to be happy and try to do things that sounds near impossible unless someone does it. Lastly, the final thing of you feeling loneliness is that you can't sleep, and or that you just quick to anger because you just have nothing else to figure out. You constantly stay up late, like going out to parties or all that stuff, or you just get angry for doing like a small simple work or something so easy, and it just makes it look complicated. And I had to go through that too. I mean, I do theater acting, I volunteer places, I even go out, but I don't party because I'm straight edge, which means I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs. I'm perfectly sober. But there are times where like it gets hard to figure out what's your purpose doing here. But always remember this. No matter what anyone says, you're loved. No matter what. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise, because you're strong. Always remember this. Be better. You are loved. Stay in contact. Please talk to your parents or talk to someone that you trust, because there is nothing worse than being stuck idle and not do anything about it. Thank you guys for coming to today's video. Before I go, please comment, like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications. And then this week I'm going to be debuting a new series called What Should We Discuss by River Delcom, and we will have some great conversations. And I hope to see y'all soon, because I know you are going to enjoy it. My name is River Delcom, and I speak autism. Have a great day.